welcome to using Smart Response for assessment and grading. What we're going to talk about now is how to create an assessment. You do that by opening up the notebook software. There are two ways to do that. One, you can use the sidebar menu, which if you look on your computer, usually is on the left-hand side over here. Mine was on the right, so it was out of the way. And you're going to click the notebook icon, which is the blue one with the pencil on top of it. Move that back over there. Or you can go to the Start menu, click All Programs, scroll down to Smart Technologies, and then in Smart Technologies, you're going to use Smart Notebook 15. You can create Smart Notebook files in other versions of Smart Notebook, but if you want to run them for assessments in the manner that we're going to talk about today, you have to run them on Notebook 15. So they will work up without having to worry about version differences. And so I have an untitled one open here. So in order to start an assessment, you're going to go to the Response tab up here. And then on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of different tabs over here. We're going to use the Response tab, which is over here also. But go to Response, click Insert a Title Page, and then you have to give it a name. We'll just call it Class for now. Click Add. That inserts a title page. What this title page does is it gives all of the questions you're going to put together. It gives them a summary location. So if you look at your side menu over here, it looks like a title page. And so this one has all of the properties for the entire assessment instead of the individual questions. So then to insert a question, we're going to click Response, Insert Question. And then there are several types of questions that you can ask. You can do a yes or no or a true or false, which are basically the same kind of question. You can do multiple choice. You can do questions that require a number or a fraction or a decimal for an answer. You can do multiple answers with where two or more of the multiple choice answers are viable options. They would both have to be clicked in order for the student's answer to be considered correct, and you can have as many as 9 correct answers and only 1 not correct answer. And then there's text. There's a 250 character limit on text answers, but the system will grade them. They're a little tricky. You have to give multiple spellings of the answers, and usually 1-word or 2-word answers work the best. Once you've chosen an answer, a question type, we're going to choose multiple choice because that's what most people are going to do. Click Next. It's going to ask you to input a question. So we're going to input what is the capital of Ohio. Put a question mark on it there and click Next. And it's going to ask us for the answers. Now, you can do up to 10 answers. So you could give 10 choices. You can also do a Likert scale. So if you want to do like a survey or whatever, you can type a Likert scale in there. So you can do agreements or you can do frequencies. So this works out really well for doing surveys, which we're going to talk about in the 4th session today. So let's talk about the answers that we want to give then to our multiple choice question. We'll go back again. What is the capital of Ohio? So it probably would be good if we put cities from Ohio in here. Let's put Wilmington. Once you have your answers all typed in there, you click Next. Then it gives you the chance to choose the correct answer. And you can even tell how many points it is. For my preference, I always make the questions worth the same amount of points. However, if you're using a percentage on the other end, you could make some questions worth more points. And then if you're going to use a percentage as your output value for Progress Book, then it wouldn't matter. Then you click Finished, and it will automatically create the question and input it into your stack. So for those of you who've been around a while, this will be your stack. Go back to the Apple days there. Your stack of slides, and then this is question number 1. If you look down here at the Response tab, This is where you would input the key. So if you want to see the key, you click show and it'll show you the key. You can put tags and notes in here for yourself. This is all just stuff for you. It wouldn't necessarily be anything the kids would ever see. There are 3 buttons here. The next button is process. This is where you would start the assessment. Excuse me, that's progress, where you would start the assessment. And then the next one is next steps. You could add a question to the next page. You could make the next page a content page. You know, you could do whatever you want to here. Um, this is one way to get there. I don't usually use that, so um, you can go where you want to with it. So go back up here to our stack selection, and then let's, oops, I have a misspelling. So once your question has been created with the wizard, you can go in here and edit it any way you want to, all right? And we'll talk about things that you might do here later. Um, so I want another question. If I want another multiple choice question, there's a couple of ways to get there. I could do insert another question, or if I wanted to, I could just clone this page. Clone the page, and it'll automatically give me another one that it looks exactly like it. And then if I wanted to, I could just edit this question, change my responses. Um, that function helps a lot if you want to create basically a matching section. Matching questions are really just um, multiple choice questions where the multiple choice choices are always the same. So you could put up to 10 multiple choice questions or answers together, and then that would be your question. Now, once you have your questions all created, then what you need to do is you need to um, save this somewhere. And honestly, saving is probably one of the most important things that you're going to do. Having some strategy for how you're going to save it is extremely important. So we're going to save this, and I have a Dropbox folder that has a structure in it. School year startup, my PD stuff, and we will call this how to create an assessment. Click. Now, if you have multiple classes for this that are going to use the same assessment, you will want an assessment file for each one of those classes. The reason for that is when you um, when you use the assessment for each class, all of the classes' test data, what answers they chose, will all be saved in the file. So if you reuse them, it erases the last class's file. And if you have a file for each class, then you can always go back and look at what answers the students gave. So what I will do then is I will do a file save as, and I will then add just a little tag on the end like Bell 2, and then click save. If you do that before you even start, then you will have plenty of places for the information to go, and you won't have to do any extra work for them. So when you save your data, when you save your file, it's really, really important that you have a strategy for where you're going to put the files so that you know how to go back and get them, and having a naming convention. So when I name a file, I automatically give it the name of the assessment. So how to create an assessment, and then I give it some tag that tells me that that was for Bell 2. Notice that I also have the original file so that if one of these files gets messed up, I can go back to the original file and then just make a copy of it for whatever test I need. Um, and that is pretty much in a nutshell how you go about creating an assessment. Some highlights. Just go to the start menu, find the program under Smart Technologies, Smart Notebook, open that up, go to response, insert a title page first, and then insert questions afterwards. So that'll give you the title page, and then insert all of your questions. We'll talk about how to run the assessment and get your student data in it in the next video. Thank you very much.